She's been my queen since we were 16. You've heard this song 1,000 times. In your car. In your bedroom. In a stadium screaming the lyrics back at the 5 boys on stage. It's a perfect pop song. A declaration. A confident, chest-out anthem about a love so strong, the whole world is jealous. But what if the greatest trick One Direction ever pulled was convincing you this was a happy song? What if this anthem of devotion was actually a confession? A coded message, hidden in plain sight, broadcast to millions who never knew what they were really hearing. Because Steal My Girl wasn't a love song. It was a warning flare. A beautiful, tragic lie about a kingdom that was already starting to burn. Let's go back to 2014. To understand the lie, you have to understand the moment. One Direction wasn't just a band. They were a weather system. A global phenomenon that had been raging for 4 straight years. They were on top of a mountain so high, the air was getting thin. And from that height, they released 4, their most mature, rock-infused, and personal album yet. The lead single, Steal My Girl. It was the perfect choice. Bold. Catchy. It sounded like the 5 of them were more unified than ever. A gang, standing shoulder to shoulder, daring anyone to challenge them. But behind the swagger, something was starting to fracture. The smiles on camera were becoming just a little too practiced. The grueling pace was taking its toll. And this song, this seemingly simple song, began to sound less like a confident boast, and more like a desperate plea. Today, we're not just looking at the lyrics. We're putting the song on trial. We're exposing the clues hidden in the vocals, the video, and the heartbreaking performances that followed. Because the story of Steal My Girl isn't the story of a girl. It's the story of the end. It all begins with one voice. And one line. She's been my queen since we were 16. It's sung by Zayn Malik. And he doesn't just sing it. He bleeds it. His voice, drenched in that signature soulfulness, makes you believe every single word. It feels like a secret torn from his own diary. But here's the first twist in the story. Zayn didn't write that line. The song was primarily penned by bandmates Louis Tomlinson and Liam Payne, along with a team of professional songwriters. Think about that. The most personal, emotionally charged line in the entire song is delivered by a man performing someone else's feelings. He's an actor, delivering a script. And the script he was given was about unwavering loyalty. About holding on to something precious. Yet, just 171 days after this song was released, Zayn would be gone. Suddenly, his performance of that line doesn't just feel emotional. It feels prophetic. Tragic. Was he singing about a girl? Or was he, in that moment, playing the part of a loyal soldier, even as he was planning his escape from the war? The band chose him, the quiet, mysterious one, to sell the story of unity. And in doing so, they accidentally told a much darker, truer story instead. A song is a story. And this story was a fortress. Listen to the lyrics. They're not just confident, they're possessive. Almost aggressive. Everybody wanna steal my girl. Everybody wanna take her heart away. Find another one, 'cause she belongs to me. It's a suit of armor forged from hit-making piano chords and a stadium-sized chorus. It's a declaration that what they have is untouchable. Unbreakable. It's the perfect mask. But what was happening behind that mask? 2014 was the year the cracks began to show for those paying attention. The endless touring. The lack of privacy. The pressure to maintain a perfect, clean image for a machine that was making billions. They were 5 young men whose entire adolescence had been consumed by the spotlight. They belonged to the world now. They belonged to the label. They belonged to the media. They belonged to us. So when they sang, "She Belongs to Me," who were they trying to convince? The world, or themselves? This song wasn't a reflection of their reality. It was an escape from it. A 3-minute fantasy where they were still in control. Where they could protect the one thing that mattered. Which leads to the biggest question of all. What if the girl they were all so desperate to protect was never a person at all? The theories were instantaneous. Of course, it had to be about a real person. Was it Zayn's fiancée, Perry Edwards? Or Lewis's long-term girlfriend, Eleanor Calder? Both relationships were under intense public scrutiny. It made sense. But a deeper, more poignant theory began to bubble up from the heart of the fandom. A theory that the girl was never a girlfriend or a fiancée. She was a metaphor. The girl was the band itself. She was the joy they felt in the beginning. The magic. That original, untainted brotherhood from their X Factor days. She's been my queen since we were 16. They were all teenagers when the band was formed. This was the life they had known. And now, everybody want to steal my girl. The media, twisting their words. The industry, demanding more and more. Even the fans, whose intense love created a gilded cage. Everyone wanted a piece of their soul. If you listen to the song this way, it transforms. It's no longer a pop anthem. It becomes a eulogy. A tragic ballad sung by 5 men, watching the most precious thing they ever built get pulled apart, piece by piece, right in front of them. And if you have any doubt, just look at the evidence they gave us next. For a song titled Steal My Girl, the music video has a very strange, very glaring omission. There is no girl. She's not there. She's not even hinted at. Instead, we get chaos, sumo wrestlers, ballet dancers, a marching band, a monkey, all orchestrated by Danny DeVito as a pretentious beret-wearing director. It feels random, zany, a classic, fun One Direction video. But what if it's not random at all? What if the chaos is the point? This is what their world looked like. A circus. A bizarre spectacle controlled by a director, a perfect metaphor for the music industry itself. And in the middle of it all, are the 5 of them. Performing. Playing their parts. But the object of their affection, the girl, is completely absent. Why? Perhaps because she was already gone. The unity, the simple joy, it was no longer there. All that was left was the performance. The spectacle. A band going through the motions in the middle of a desert, a vast, empty landscape. It's one of the most brilliant and saddest visual metaphors in modern pop. A confession of emptiness, disguised as a multi-million-dollar party. Watch them sing it live in their final months as a 5-piece. Watch their eyes. The swagger is gone, replaced by a kind of hollow exhaustion. That roaring chorus, "She belongs to me," no longer sounds like a threat. It sounds like a prayer. A desperate, failing attempt to hold on. They weren't singing to a rival anymore. They were singing against the inevitable. Against the tide of fame that was pulling them apart. Steal My Girl is a masterpiece, but not for the reasons you think. It's a time capsule. It's the sound of a beautiful thing right before it breaks. It's the tension between the confident image they had to sell and the fragile reality they were living. The song immortalized their friendship at the very moment it was starting to crumble. So the next time you hear that piano, listen closer. Listen past the bravado. Listen for the fear, the longing, the warning. You're not hearing a love song. You're hearing a goodbye. The stories we miss are often the most important ones. What other songs hide a secret story behind the lyrics? Let me know in the comments below. I will read every one. And if you want to uncover more of the hidden truths in the music you love, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss what we unpack next.